Hello, leggers.
Concentrate on the road, for God's sake. Keep your hands on the wheel.
Hello, leggers.
Hello.
I want to say it's the leggers in overdrive. I mean, what are we saying about the names? We've been given
I think
so
we're
many
sticking
names.
with, does anybody have a map?
Anybody have a map?
No,
I like that. But also, leggers and overdrive is a nice ring to it.
We had some really nice suggestions for these. Thank you so much for all of your interaction on them, because we've been quite overwhelmed, to be honest with you. But that sort of anybody have a map thing came to me in a moment of inspiration after we'd recorded the video. So I feel like I'm cheating you all now by not using any of your suggestions. But if you got it, you got it. But thank you.
Can we have a read through some of the suggestions anyway?
Some of the suggestions.
I think we should read through some of these comments on these experiences.
I think you're absolutely right. We've opened a right blooming can of worms on the whole theatre etiquette front.
It seems as if this is a really passionate topic.
Talk
of
about a
conversation.
hot topic.
And I'm glad it's
Let's
not
spill
just
the
us.
tea.
Okay, so are we going to have a look at some comments before we go on and introduce a new topic for discussion?
Yes, so suggestions we had for the name,
Okay.
the workshop, Lega Fellas, interesting, Overdrive.
Wait, wasn't that a play on when I said hello fellow leggers?
And you
I said
Lego Fellas.
hello fellow leggers, hello Lega fellas.
Fega
Leggers
Leggers.
or something. I think
Yeah.
maybe that's that.
You are funny. Front row,
I don't.
front seat. That was pretty good as
It's
well.
got a good ring to it.
Breaker leg is the return leg, because we're on the way back from the theatre.
Although technically
We're on the way there.
we're on the way
actually.
to the theatre this
But
time.
yeah,
But yeah.
Breaker leg is on tour. That was something we'd actually spoken about beforehand. But I don't know. Anybody have a map and the theme tune to the main videos? I think it fits, because most of the time we're stumbling around without a bloody clue. Now, theatre etiquette. What can we say, guys? We thought our experiences were bad, but they seem to be nothing compared to what you guys have been through.
Goodness.
So we're going to read out a few of our favourites right
I was
now.
literally in tears reading some of these comments. It's the best experiences ever. So keep them coming, Lego community, on this video as well. We want to know your views. I think that's the big key thing.
Yeah, we want a community.
Okay, so what have we got?
I'm just trying to find some of my favourite. This one has actually happened to us before, and I like this, and I'm glad, like you say, it's not just us. Time Crasher said they had a Spanish couple next to them, and the man was translating everything that was happening to his wife. I got his attention and put my finger over my lips. He apologised at the interval.
Say again.
He
got his attention
and put finger over lips and did that.
Oh, right, so he
Because
just
that's the international
sign
language for shut up, right? Shut the hell up. It's right there. He apologised at the interval, but still did it in the second half. If you don't speak the language, don't go to the effing production.
I often think that when we go to Shakespeare, when we're at the RSC, I think, oh no, I can see a lot of foreign students here. What's going to be going on? Are they going to... Only turns out they speak better English than us.
Well, they definitely speak better whatever language is their native language than we speak. The fact they speak two languages is way beyond what we can actually do.
Well, we have had that. I have had translations, people translating it.
It's happened quite a bit, hasn't
I've leant over and gone, do you mind keeping the noise out? And they've gone, oh, I'm really sorry, they don't speak English. I'm just letting them know what's going on.
I mean, my problem with that comment about don't go to the production if you don't speak the languages then it means that no one could ever go to the opera, right? The opera would just be a thing of the past in this country. It would just be completely gone. Now this one has to be one of my favourites. This is from David UK, and it says, I think the worst experience I ever had was at the Royal Court. I just literally reading it, I still can't believe it happened. When a chap in front of me kept licking the ear of his girlfriend through the entire 90 minutes of the play. They were directly in front of me.
Would you be tempted to join in?
Why just go in for a lick? Please
Well, I
don't.
just think maybe it's a communal thing.
He was having a right old rummage in a canal with lots of saliva to ease his way around.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
disgusting at the end. I had to say to them how they totally spoil any enjoyment I might have had. It was revolting, but as I always find, they were oblivious. At the Barbican, someone talked through the entire first half of the show. I did say at the interval and ask her not to talk through the show, and she denied it had ever had happened.
Why would you do that? Own it, people. Just apologise. I can't stand deniers.
This is the best bit. There's another chap in their own party said that she was being disruptive, and then the two of them started an argument. That's just brilliant.
The two people who were in the same party?
Yes.
That's brilliant.
That is the definition of light the blue touch paper and retire to a safe distance. Like, you've set it off there. But
I mean, snogging is a thing. Cuddling up, but salivating over an ear hole. What is that about?
Not nice, is it? But that's just a couple of select comments, but they were honestly brilliant. We were rolling around. I mean, I can't think of anything. There was a couple in the bar at a theatre recently canoodling, but as if no one else was there.
You pointed that out.
Yeah.
You felt a bit uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable. They were in the bar.
I mean, this is a separate conversation on public showings of affection. Whether it makes people feel uncomfortable or not.
How do you feel about public displays of affection in the theatre or not? But this particular one, I don't know why, because I'll quite happily hold your hand and stuff. But they may as well, that was the pre-show. To be honest, they may as well have been getting it on.
It was the first half an hour of a hotel room meet.
Yeah, but we were seeing
in public.
But we were seeing a horror play. It wasn't a romantic play either. I don't know what was going on in their heads, but yeah, it did make us feel a little bit comfortable. Anyway, thank you. Keep the comments coming. We read them all, and we will read the best ones out on these. Anybody have a maps? Anyway, this week, what is it we're talking about? We've had some interesting comments in previously, which has sparked discussion between the two of us, and now we want to share that discussion and bring it to you.
Do you know? Can I bring one up there?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but we can be quite critical at times, breaking down a show into many different elements. And this one particular comment said something along the lines of, "There is no such thing as a bad show. People work way too hard for it to be a bad show." I think that may be an amalgamation of two comments in there, but there's no such thing.
That was the theme,
as a
wasn't
bad
it?
show.
Just because a show has had the effort to go up, it's been put on, therefore it is worthy of being on stage.
And I actually think there's two parts of this that I agree that you can break a show down into so many different elements that even if a show is awful, there may be something good, like the floor.
Nice floor productions.
Or the wigs. Or the makeup.
I'm going to get that on a t-shirt.
Or the fact that
it was a
they've learned
nice
their
floor
lines.
production.
That's usually the default, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you've been in that moment, you sometimes go see a friend in a show and they're like, "What did you think of the show?" And you're like, "The lighting was good."
I think we'll talk in another.
Great.
Let's not talk about that now. But I think we'll have another conversation about if you know people that have been in the show and it's awful. What do you say? We'll talk about that in another one. But
So
for
I
this
guess
particular,
there are things
chat,
about a show that can be good, but on the other side of that, there's no such thing as a bad show. I disagree. I think there is such a thing as a bad show, and it's that first experience you feel, whether you enjoy it or not. I think sometimes the ticket price has a lot to do with it. If you've paid a lot of money for the ticket, are you more inclined then to go, actually that wasn't bad?
Yes, so you're saying that,
Do you think that
you will
cognitive-
make yourself enjoy it if you've paid a lot for the pleasure or
So
displeasure.
If
You will
something is
convince
free,
yourself.
you enjoy it that little bit extra, that little bit more, because you didn't have to pay for it either.
Or you enjoy it less because you're under no obligation to like
I
it.
usually find I enjoy it more.
Okay.
So, but what's your opinion? Is there any such thing as a bad show? There's no such.
Are you asking
We've
me
been
or them?
told there's no such thing as a bad show.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Lega Simon?
I believe that there are such things as bad shows.
You believe?
I
as in
believe.
You believe.
My
in-
personal experience, which is fairly vast now, dictates the fact that sometimes certain things should just not see the light of day. And that doesn't stop at just theatrical productions. It can go for anything, like a product, like a meal. Some things just, they shouldn't have happened. Like, I don't draw the line at theatre. I think it could be anything. And no matter what it is, people have put effort into making it happen. That doesn't mean it should happen. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Okay.
That's one of my sort of mottos in life.
And if it
Otherwise,
is-
we just all go around raping and murdering each other, right?
I used
Just
to
because you
have
can, it
this,
doesn't mean you should.
I used to have this thing, I don't know how I feel now, I've only done it a couple of times, where if a show is bad, should you leave at the interval? Is it okay to leave at the interval?
I believe time is precious. And there have been times where I would have left at the interval for several shows that we've reviewed, but you have an obligation because we want to help you guys make educated decisions and good decisions. So we see the bad shows, so you don't have to.
There are a number of shows where you've almost begged me not to go back in.
Yeah, I have.
And I've had to say no because we need to. One, it might get better. Two, we could learn from it to learn what works and what doesn't, and why decipher it. And three, we owe it to, we can't honestly say that we have critiqued the whole show.
Yeah.
If we haven't
Doesn't
seen
mean
the
we
whole
will come
show.
out of it and tell you. I mean, we might tell you not to go. We might say don't bother, and then that's a leg it really, isn't it? Rather than buy a ticket, don't run towards the theatre, run away from it. But then again, we also encourage people to make their own decisions. We're full of contradictions, we really are, because there's a lot to be said, isn't there, for critical acclaim and then audience reaction. I mean, we're actually on the way now to see Les Mis, which was critically, very lukewarm. If at best, yet it's gone on to be the second longest running musical of all time.
Yeah, isn't the legendary story that the critics kind of panned it?
Yeah.
And yet there were Full House signs out every night, and it's huge now. You can't get through a seasons of Britain's Got Talent really without having one of the numbers thrown out
Without wanting
there.
to rip your face off because someone's doing Bring Him Home
Bring Him
again.
Home, someone's
Again.
doing On My Own.
I Dreamed a Dream.
I Dreamed a Dream.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's just a staple really nowadays.
It is, but that wasn't critically acclaimed, but somebody said you should give it a go, and then people haven't stopped giving it a go for more than 30 years.
I guess the thing is, theatre is subjective, right?
Yeah.
And stuff that we've enjoyed, I think people have said, I didn't enjoy it when
Yeah,
it's
that happens a lot.
And vice versa.
Yeah, it is completely subjective.
I don't know if it's okay to leave at the interval. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Because at the end of the day, right, you'd rather be 9 people's favourite thing than 100 people's 9th favourite thing. Name the musical, guys. Name the musical, right down here. Right down here. Great show.
I guess that's another discussion. Shows that have never come over that should.
Oh, that is. We'll talk about that another time, but that has had a small production recently at above the stack.
Don't give away. No clues.
But we didn't go.
We didn't go.
Also, Next to Normal. Where the hell is that? Where the hell is Next to Normal? Like, how has that never had a UK production?
Shows that should be seeing the light of day over here, Leggers.
Yeah.
What are they?
Let's talk about that. If you let us know down below, we'll talk about what we think of those shows in our next one of these, whatever this is.
Yeah.
Anybody have maps?
So I think, where were we? We started off on bad show. There's no such thing. There's definitely such thing as a bad show.
Yeah, there are.
And I refuse to believe that every single show is good. There's no such thing as a bad show. No, you either enjoy it or you don't.
Yeah, but that's not to say we don't admire the ambition of some of those shows, and we don't admire the dedication of a performer individually. But the show in its entirety can be bad.
And there's nothing worse in critiquing a show where there've been some great performances, but the actual piece is rubbish.
I've got to say, fundamentally, I want to go and enjoy anything I see.
Everything.
I don't want to go and have a bad time. I want to try and find the good in it, guys. Like, I really do. But let us know about your worst. What were your bad show experiences? What have you gone in with really high hopes and then it is just totally bombed and let you down? We'd love to know. Any other topics that are burning for you? What else has been on your sort of radar recently as a great hot topic?
There was someone that also made a comment. Actually, I guess it ties into this. On Come From Away, I think it was saying that shows, or was it Waitress, one of those videos, along the lines of shows only seem to be doing well or critically acclaimed, or we only seem to like shows that are critically acclaimed or something else.
What, you and I only like them?
I think so, yeah.
Or they have a point to make, was it, or something like that?
I think so, if they have a point to make or if they're critically acclaimed.
Like that they speak more than just an enjoyable night. They have to make a political statement, or they have to be trying to drive home a message. I've got to say, I do like leaving the theatre feeling empowered to do something, or I feel driven to. I like to be
educated.
I like to be compelled by the theatre that I see. That's not to say I can't go and enjoy just I don't want to call it a throwaway show, but something which is a bit more. What's it called?
Something a bit more...
like it doesn't have a lot of depth. It's just quite surfacey.
Okay.
What am I going for?
I have no idea.
But you know,
what's
when
the surfacey word that Simon is looking for?
A surfacey word, I would say, is it's just superficial. That's the one I'm going for. I don't mind a superficial show.
I think you need a balance sometimes. It would be dull as dishwater if everything was heavy or everything was comedy. That's why you go for the array of theatre.
You don't want to see Rent 365 a year, do you?
No. And I guess, do you know what? Arguably, you need bad theatre to appreciate the good theatre. Otherwise, how do you know it's good? Profound,
right? My mind's blown.
But it is true, and I think it is about the diversity of theatre, and it is just about how it makes you feel. Am I enjoying this? Did I not enjoy it? Did I understand what's going on, and did it take me to a place where I didn't expect it to go?
We've taken a lot of flack for enjoying Banana Man the musical, but there was certainly no depth in that. Was there?
It was just really good fun.
I had a great fun time.
I tell you what, people hated that. We were in there with some proper big critics, and they were almost offended to have been on the list.
They were offended to be on the list, and they were offended when we told them that we were having a good time. They hated that.
They were offended before it even started. They had made up their mind what their opinion is.
Yeah.
And I talk to you about this often, Lega Simon, about going in with preconceived ideas.
You like a zero expectation.
Yeah, as being humans, we are open to cognitive biases. Those messages we receive, we've got to be so careful because they can affect our objectivity in our enjoyment and how we perceive a piece. So I think it's really important for me, anyway, to be able to manage those. But yeah, they made their mind up before they went in. It seemed, a lot of them. I loved it. Banana Man musical. Rock of Ages was the same.
Yeah, I mean, Rock of Ages, it has
nothing.
These have
deep,
no message. Like, there's nothing.
Not going to change the world.
They're not going to change the world. There's no Pulitzer there.
Peace,
but I think to accuse us of only liking things that have that level of depth is unfair.
I think it was on Waitress, you know.
Really?
Because I think you said it wasn't a come from away.
It isn't a come from away.
And because it didn't have that profound message.
So we didn't give it 5. I mean, we still gave it 4.
I would have given it 5.
Okay. But we still gave it 4. That's a great night out.
And I think that's where the comment was
5
coming
is
from.
Outstanding. 4 is a great night out. 3 is reasonable. I mean, are people so hung up that if they don't get a 5-star review that they've somehow failed? Because I'm just going to say now, you've got to be something completely outstanding to get 5 stars from me. You've got to move me in a way that very few other shows do. And if you think that a 3 isn't fine, a 3 is fine.
That's a really good point, actually. What do the stars mean to you?
What
do 5 stars mean to you?
Surely that's
so what would we
from
say
critic
for
to critic, right?
I think so, right? So 5 is like the best thing you've ever seen.
The best example of that thing that I've seen is what I would say.
I imagine that for a 5-star show, we would have stood. There would be a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And there have been times when we have been the only people standing.
Yeah.
I think in an auditorium.
Or very few of us. Yeah.
Or very few of us.
I've stood.
We stood
when
up.
Other people haven't.
And then we looked around. I'm like, why aren't you standing, people?
Yeah.
Why? They're like, this is amazing. But
we were talking the last video about them being too easy, and now we're saying they're not easy enough. It's us that's easy.
So 5 is up there.
Yeah.
I think 3. I think if we miss out 4, because 3 for me is that it was good.
It was good.
There's
nothing wrong with it. It was fine. It wasn't
middle of the road.
Brilliant. It was just enjoyable.
Average.
All right.
It wasn't average, but it's
okay.
not average. Okay.
Yeah.
I think okay.
It was okay.
So 3 stars it was okay.
2 is
4, but then we can bridge the gap to 4. You see,
we're going from 5 to 3 to 4.
Yeah, because I think we
Where's
need to
your
establish
logic?
that top.
Make your point, caller.
We need to get that middle,
4.
so then we can get that. What is that gauge then? So what are we saying a 4 is?
So I do the good, great,
good.
outstanding. Good. 5's just 3's
outstanding.
Good. 3's good, fine, okay, good.
Nah, you see,
my
4 is good. My 3 is
Four
okay.
for me is it was on the upper end of good. It was great, but it wasn't outstanding.
Okay, so you'd say outstanding,
5,
great,
yeah, good.
2.
2 must try harder.
2 is below average for me.
Yeah, 2
There are
is
times
below
when
average.
I'm on. This is now.
So we don't rate in halves either.
No,
some critics rate in halves.
It's cheating. Might as well just do it out of 10 to keep to whole numbers, people.
No, we don't do that. So that causes debate if one of us has gone at 2. Are you shushing me?
No, I was about to speak, but I had to stop myself.
Oh.
No, this is the international line.
Yeah, I thought you were doing that like. I'm not. I understand English. You can speak to me.
2 is on the lines of don't bother. Like I wouldn't be recommending people. If
No,
it's a 2.
I mean.
Kind of a bit of a waste. Didn't get much from it.
Yeah.
May have appreciated some performances. In fact, I think we've given awards to 2-star shows in the past.
Because it's had elements of good,
Because
very
there
good or
are
great.
elements that we recognise that are award worthy, but as a whole thing, it's a 2. 1.
Miss. Give it a miss.
Give it a miss. Is basic bad.
Yeah.
1 is bad.
Yeah.
Don't-
0
don't.
is this should. Why are we? I wish I was dead.
That's extreme.
To give them.
I wish I was dead.
To give nothing is like I'd rather have been having a tooth extraction with no anaesthetic.
So we're saying 0. It's actually painful.
Painful.
We should have
0
been
is
paid
painful.
to have been there.
Yeah. Even then, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. It wasn't worth the money.
Have there been any 0 shows? I'm thinking of one. There have been a couple that have been in our early Lego reviewing days where we didn't do a review because we just couldn't get the energy.
No, it wasn't that. We actually had really unlucky times with them both. So the one time we did,
very conveniently,
we did film like a 0 show one where I could leg it, but the sound didn't work.
Yes.
So we had no sound. The other time, I think it was raining and we got kicked out of the venue, so we couldn't film indoors. So we said we'd come back and film at another point, and then we never got round to it. The production had ended, so we thought this is worthless now, but that would have been another one. Now that's going to lead into another chat, because we did then see the lead actor from that show somewhere else who
He's a
asked
lovely
us,
guy.
he is a lovely guy, who asked us what we thought of that show, and we were like, yeah. And we told him, we were really honest, we said it didn't work for us, we didn't get it, we thought it was an absolute mess, and he said that's fine because I'm not the leading body on that style of theatre. I did the job and he was great in it, don't get us wrong, and he was like, but if you didn't enjoy it, that's absolutely
I don't
fine.
think anybody did. No one knew what was going on.
I mean, I'm sure it has its fans, right? I'm sure that everything is like I say, 9 people's favourite things. Everything is somebody's favourite thing. I mean, I'm your favourite thing. So if that can happen, then surely there's something for everybody, right?
Okay.
Right.
So where are we going
Right.
with this? So
Right.
stars, what do stars mean to you?
Yeah.
It'd just be a good idea to know, because
it's just such a weird thing, a star system, because it doesn't
It's a
actually.
feeling, isn't it?
It doesn't mean anything. Like,
No.
or it can mean different things.
I mean,
it's
that's the thing.
so sort of airy fairy.
This is why we're
Showing
so
you now.
keen to know.
It's just my airy fairiness.
This is why we're so keen to know Lego's opinions as well. Because
Yeah, you're educating us as much as we're educating you, really.
we won't have the same. It's rare that we have the same experience. Even as us Legos, we have to compromise sometimes. There are times when we both come out and go, "Yes, that was a 5-star show."
Yeah, like
when you go,
hands
"That was
down.
5." That was, I say it was 4. When I say it was 2, and you say it was 4. It's something so different to everybody. And I think it really does depend on how much theatre you see as well. How
I
much
think that's
music.
what's nice about there being 2 of us, is that we can give that sort of balance, because your experience might be representative of a whole group of people,
Yeah.
and my experience will be representative of an entirely different group of people, and then if we do meet in the middle, then surely we've covered all bases.
You'd like to think so.
I would
we still
like to
get
think
videos
so.
where people disagree with us.
Videos. We get people send us videos.
Well, comments.
I was gonna
Comments
say,
on
they don't-
our videos.
I mean, we get abuse. Don't get me wrong, but no one's ever sent us a video abusing us.
Hopefully you're
yet.
going to start.
We've started something
We've
now.
started something now. But yeah, we have had comments where they just people don't agree with us at all. But you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine.
That is fine, and we welcome all opinions because all opinions are valid. Not all opinions are right, though, are they? Let's just say.
We welcome your opinion.
We do.
You're just wrong.
You're just wrong.
Yeah, you're just wrong. No, we welcome all opinions.
We do. Anyway, let's wrap it up for another episode of Anybody Have a Map?
Are we finishing up?
Yeah, finish up, because then there'll be other things to talk about later on, won't there?
Okay.
Let's save some things. Let's roll it over, guys. Let's roll it over. We've asked them for enough stuff.
We've asked you for
loads
comments.
of things.
We'll try and get some more comments organised next time. So there's still a couple of comments on the theatre etiquette that we haven't mentioned, like Willie Trout Esquire. I love your comments.
Loved that comment.
So I want to make sure that is mentioned. It's just full of sass and attitude.
But they could read them as well.
Me down.
Go and have a look.
Where's the fun in that?
Let us read them.
Don't read them.
Don't read them.
No, by all means read them and comment on each other's. We love to hear from you.
Yep. We're the Breaker Leggers.
And I guess we'll catch you again soon.
Be joining us for a ride again soon, guys. Bye.